Hello, welcome to today's edition of the Gulf Coast Real Estate Insiders Podcast. We're joined today by my mother, Sande Ellis, and I'm Brett Ellis. We're with the Ellis team at Keller Williams down here in sunny Southwest Florida. So there's three things I'd like to talk about today.
Okay.
The first one is the Fed and interest rates. So they left interest rates alone this week. So what does that mean for the market?
Well, first of all, I don't think that was unexpected. We kind of predicted that would happen, right?
Well, there's one thing that a little bit unexpected.
Okay. What's that?
I expected them kind of to keep it the way it was. But if they were going to make a move this fall, I thought it would be yesterday. Not that they should, but if they're going to. I listened to some experts that said this may not be over and that raise may come in September. That's a little surprising to me because that's getting close to the elections and they don't normally like to do that. So I don't know if they should make...
No, wait a minute. They're not supposed to be political, right? Great.
So the vote was 9-3 to leave things alone. 3 people wanted to raise them. I think they may just leave them again in September. I guess it depends on what the data shows. It's probably the best way to say it, right?
Well, yeah, and there's outside influences as well, right? I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen with oil. We don't know.
And that's one thing they said, is the uncertainty in the Middle East is kind of giving them pause. I think if we had that wrapped up, rates would be the same and be heading down because the inflation the Fed looks at is actually heading down. So we'll have to see on that. Now, mortgage rates aren't determined. Mortgage rates up until today have been going up, even after the Fed said we're keeping them the same. Today, this morning, this is what, July 30th, rates were headed down just ever so slightly. So you can't go by what the Fed does. You go by what the bond market does. And that's kind of where we are with that. So steady as she goes for right now. The market will determine rates are. And that's one thing the Fed chairman wanted to do was let the market to kind of determine the market rates, not the Fed. Fed wants to kind of stay on the line, almost like a referee. Like we just want to control the dollar and control inflation. They want to get back to 2% inflation and have the dollar mean it's a dollar and just stabilize that. So
that's stabilization, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that brings me to point number 2.
Okay.
Price stabilization in Southwest Florida. Sandy, would it surprise you to know, and I already know the answer, it would not surprise you, but I bet you it would surprise a lot of real estate agents in Southwest Florida. Home prices have gone up for the second month in a row. They both on the median and the average. So year over year, 2 months in a row, we're up 1.3%. That means, yeah, prices have stopped going down and they might be heading up. Now, this is not a surprise because our current market index and our market spread index predicted this. So
that's correct. But
how many months have we been talking about it?
Oh, we've been talking about it for a while, obviously, but you won't see it in every neighborhood. For example, if something hasn't sold in the last couple of months, you don't know it. So the thing about doing a comparative market analysis or having an appraisal done, it's a history. It's what's happened in the past. So what's important is knowing what's happening now, and I think that's what...
Well, let me give you an example. There's a comp out there for a listing that I've been working on, and I called the agent and I said, hey, is your pending sale likely to close? And about how good did you do? Now, they don't always answer that. But he said, yes, that one's going to close. And it went in the low, whatever hundreds of thousands it was, as opposed to it was listed in the highs. I said, ooh. I said, I would have thought that would have gone for more than that. And he says, well, you know the market we're in. And I'm like, no, that isn't the market we're in. The market we're in has stabilized and it's been going up a little bit. There's no reason for that thing to go. That agent absolutely believes. Now, the buyer agent believes it, and the listing agent believes it, and they talk to each other, and he convinced them that the market is still going down. It's a terrible market. But guess what? Inventory is going down. Pendings are remaining steady. The current market index is getting better. The market spread index is getting better. We've always said if the market spread index gets below 4,800, that's one of the 2 indicators. And guess what? It's in like 44, 4,500. So we've blown past that 4,800. The other is the current market index. If that gets anywhere around 3, and right now we're at like 3.56 or something like that. So we're not quite to 3, but one of the indicators is there. The other one's kind of knocking on the door. And it's a future indicator of prices. We've been saying this for months, and I'm not surprised prices are doing what they are, but you know who is surprised is other agents.
Well, and it's the difference between the buyer's market and the seller's market too. And buyer agents actually giving their customer, their client, whom they're giving them what they believe, okay? What we're saying is what they believe is incorrect information. And therefore...
But it's not incorrect in an agent's mind. So I was looking at some reports. There's a lot of agents, their business is down 60%, 80%, all kind of percent from last year. I was looking at a MLS report that kind of shows. And I've always said, if you ask an agent how the market is, their honest answer is it's up or it's down based on how well they're doing, without regard to the actual data. That's why here at the Ellis team, we work with the actual data. So if our business is down, that's on us. But the market could be up. If our market is, if the Ellis team, we're just going gangbusters, and that's happened.
Hot, right?
But the market is down. It's just we're eating market share. We're taking it from other realtors. But we shouldn't be giving advice that the market is going skyrocketing just because our business is, or vice versa. I think that's what the typical agent will do. It's how they feel about the market, not the actual data.
Well, yeah, but it's their perspective from what they see, from what their numbers look like, but they're not looking at the market as a whole.
Yeah.
And which is the beauty of your indexes and your blog.
This thing's bothering me. Somebody, just as we started this podcast, handed me this comb and said, Brett, I got you a gift. It's a bald man's comb, and I don't like it. I don't like anything to do with it. Just bug in my pocket there.
Okay, I'm sorry. And we were at a meeting one time, and I asked you, I forgot my comb. I had to borrow it. I think
That's
that
true.
one would never help.
That wouldn't have helped. That's right. And you were asking me for a comb. That was that Austin, Texas?
Austin, Texas, yeah.
You're asking me.
Yeah.
Okay. So the third thing I want to talk about was the Invisible Listings Index. We just came out with that new number. Remember, we update that quarterly. That number came out for the whole market at 36.32%. Now, it varies a little bit by price range. Some price ranges might be 32, 34, 38, but it's kind of in that tells me 1 1/3 listings are invisible. Who are they invisible to? Buyers and the algorithms, and neither one of them is good. So let's say buyers let's talk about the buyers first. Let's say a buyer sees a new listing, comes on the market. You tend to get your most activity first 2-3 weeks that it comes out. But then it sits and it's stale and nothing happens. And buyers are like, oh, I've seen that one. I've seen that one. I've seen that one. And they don't click on it anymore, but they don't set up showings on it anymore. There's two kinds of showings. The people that actually go to the property and the people who visit online. So guess where most showings start right now?
Well, they start online.
And
that's how they started online, right?
Well,
for a long time.
Yeah. So, and if it doesn't pass, like we've always said, we have to sell a property 3 times. We got to sell it to all the other agents to get them to show it. We got to sell it to the buyer, and then we got to sell it to the buyer's bank to make sure it's worth it. Well, I think there's a fourth. You got to sell it online digitally to the algorithm. Because 2 things are happening. The algorithm is ranking homes based on how desirable they think that home is and how many clicks they're getting on it. So if you've got a home that's stale on the market and it's been on the market for, let's say, 5 months, 8 months, 9 months, the algorithm's going to knock that down because it's not going anywhere. It's a dead listing. It's an invisible listing. And buyers are also going to knock it down as they drive streets and they say, why has that home been on the market forever?
Yeah, and sometimes it's the price that they started with. Sometimes it's the marketing, the exposure that they didn't have. It's so many things, and you can change that.
It could be the structured data in the listing. It could be the attributes in the photos and the videos. It can be the pricing, the marketing,
verbiage.
Where it's marketed, how it's marketed. What MLSs is in, it's all kind of stuff. Now, let's say someone out there has a dead listing. It's invisible. Well, I'll call it a dead listing.
Yeah.
You've resurrected dead listings before.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's say they expire. They call you and say, hey, my home didn't sell. Can you sell it? Yes, we can sell it, correct?
Well, absolutely, but we're going to do a complete analysis of what's happened in the past, okay? So we're going to not only look at the pricing, we're going to look at the history, we're going to look at the photos, we're going to look at the verbiage, we're going to look at just everything that we know how to do to bring that one forward, okay?
The strategy, basically the marketing strategy.
And we've had some that came back and said, it's a hot listing now. And we were basically sometimes even at the same price.
Now, this doesn't happen all the time,
No.
but I've had listings where we actually raised the price because it wasn't the price, and we got the home sold fast. But it was all the other things with the marketing. It was not the price. Sometimes it is the price. A lot of times it's the price. The seller wants this and they don't want to hear that. Or sometimes the seller's willing to hear it. They just don't have faith and confidence in their real estate agent because the agent's not communicating with them, not telling them, not forceful with them the way they should be, in that they don't have confidence that it is the price. When we get done with someone, if it's not getting the showings, if it's not getting the results you want, it's not the marketing, it is the price. But we don't always have to start there. It might not be the price. I mean, I guess we need to really get in and reevaluate the thing and see what it is. And we may not know
each property
because we weren't in charge of the marketing.
Yeah.
We didn't get the feedback from the agents. We didn't, and the buyer and the seller might not have got the feedback either. Maybe nobody got it. Maybe they didn't ask for it. Maybe the listing agent got it and never communicated it. But we got to figure out what's going on with the listing. We want to get people out of that 36.32%, and because it's hurting them in price. When you eventually sell that, you're going to sell it for a less price than you otherwise would have had it been visible and live the whole time.
But if you're a new listing, we don't want you to fall into that 36% either. You know, I mean, we want from the outset for us to go forward, or onset, I should say, get it out there where it needs to be, give it that promotion that it needs, everything about it, the promotion, the price, everything that is available to you, we want you to have that.
You could come in at a spectacular price and it could still turn into an invisible listing. You could come out with a too high a price and have all the marketing in the world and it's still going to end up an invisible listing, a dead listing, so to speak. You got to have everything working together. And if you've had your property on the market before and it didn't sell and you'd kind of like to sell it, why don't you give Sandy or myself a call, 239-489-4042. We're experts at this kind of thing. We'll tell you, here's what you need to do. If you put our marketing to work with cooperation and teamwork with you, we could accomplish almost anything.
We got a great team.
We do. Have we ever had a listing that didn't sell? Yeah, we've had a few. Not too many, though.
Not very many. A few.
Because if we're working together as a team, we're going to get that thing sold because we're going to show you what you need to do. To be honest with you, I think that's what most sellers want. They just want someone to tell them, what do I need to do? I'm willing to do it. Just tell me, what do I need to do? Because my last realtor wasn't telling me. Maybe they weren't listening. I don't know. I'm not trying to blame on all realtors. We've had some sellers that haven't listened in the past. I get it. But for whatever reason, and sometimes motivations change. Like they just weren't that motivated a year ago or 6 months ago, but they are now. Something changed in their life. Give us a call. Let's take a look at this. See if we can get you on your next venture, because it's not just the cost and the price and all the stuff of the home you're in. It's really the cost of what you're not doing in the home you're going to for your life to move on, whether it be at another location, another type of property, another life beginning or whatever. We got to get you onto that because there's a cost to that. If you don't move on with your life, there's a cost to that. And
it's an opportunity cost.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people through no fault of their own, they were trapped in their home in, say, 2006 through 2012. They wanted to move on. Maybe somebody passed away. They wanted to move on. Maybe they got a divorce. Maybe they had a baby or a grandbaby come into the equation. They needed a bigger home, smaller home, sideways home, home out of town, any kind of thing. But they were trapped financially. They couldn't get out of their house, and it was sad. It wasn't necessarily their fault because the market did what it was going to do back then. But nevertheless, they were trapped. That was an opportunity cost. Now the market's not like that. Most people aren't trapped like that. Now they may say, I never want to lose a penny on my home. oh, I never want this, or I have to make at least 60,000. I always said, until we make 60,000 in this house, we're not doing this or doing that. Those are like ego decisions that like, I never lose money in a house. Well, you know what? You buy enough houses and you live long enough, you might lose on one of them. The question is not that. The question is, where are you going to go, and what's it costing you to not be there to be present in that part of your life?
Well, and sometimes I'm not saying they should take less, but if they had taken less on one, they
might make it up
more
on the
than
other.
make it up on the next one. So, because of that opportunity cost. So,
unless you're moving from a down market here to an up market there, I mean.
Yeah.
But some people are moving from an up market to a down. So
if you
it all
sell and
works
buy
out.
in the same market, we can definitely help.
Yeah. So just other things to consider. We're not trying to talk you into, hey, you need to see your life differently or anything like that. What we do though is point out, like, here's what the market is. If you do decide to sell, here's what it's going to take to do it. And then we might ask questions about, okay, what's more important? This or that or that. And only you decide that. Like, we're not trying to tell you it's more important for you to move so you could get closer to the crazy cousin that needs you, but maybe you shouldn't be moving close to the crazy cousin to begin with. I don't know. So anyway, that's not us. We're here to tell you about the market as we see it here.
Yeah. Tell us what you want to do, and we'll find a way to help.
Now, is there a fourth topic we should be talking about, or do you think that's good?
I think that's good.
Okay. I've heard us about long enough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to get my comb and go home. So you've been watching the Gulf Coast Real Estate Insider Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
The Ellis team at Keller Williams is a family affair. Always call the Ellis team, they'll handle you with care.